What if I told you that deported illegal immigrants aren't being sent back to their home countries, but are actually disappearing into a secret human testing facility? And what if I told you that NASA is behind it? Welcome to Devon Island, Canada, Earth's most Mars-like environment and the site of NASA's most secretive research. Officially, NASA has been using this remote Arctic wasteland for Mars simulation tests, preparing for future missions to the Red Planet. But what if that's just a cover-up? What if this barren, frozen island is actually hiding a secret colony of unwilling test subjects? People who were taken, disappeared from government records, and placed into a facility designed to prepare humans for life on another world? A program so classified that those involved will do anything to keep it hidden, even erase people from existence. To understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we first have to look at Devon Island itself. It's the world's largest uninhabited island, spanning over 21,000 square miles in the Arctic. There are no permanent residents, no major settlements, and conditions are so harsh that even Inuit communities have avoided living there for centuries. So why is NASA so interested in this frozen wasteland? In 1997, NASA officially began using Devon Island as part of the Horton Mars project, a so-called Mars analog site. The rocky, desolate terrain is said to be the closest thing to the Martian surface we have on Earth. Since then, scientists and astronauts have conducted extensive research here, testing rovers, habitats, and survival methods. But here's what they don't tell you. Unlike other Mars analog sites around the world, Devon Island is completely restricted to the general public. The Canadian government tightly controls access. No civilian infrastructure exists, and despite NASA's claim that this is a temporary testing area, they've quietly built long-term research facilities, underground shelters, and structures designed for permanent human habitation. This isn't just a Mars simulation, this is a secret colony. To some, the idea of governments using people for secret experiments might sound like science fiction. But the truth is, it has happened before, repeatedly. In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA ran a project known as MKUltra, a covert operation that used unwitting test subjects to study mind control, hallucinogenic drugs, and psychological torture. Many victims were prisoners, mental hospital patients, or people the government deemed expendable. These experiments were conducted in secret for over 2 decades, before the program was exposed in the 1970s. Then there's Operation Paperclip, a post-World War II program where the US government secretly recruited Nazi scientists, many of whom had conducted inhumane experiments on prisoners, to work for American agencies, including NASA. Some of these scientists were responsible for the unethical medical trials carried out in Nazi concentration camps. And let's not forget the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, where African-American men were unknowingly left untreated for syphilis by US health officials for 40 years, just to observe the effects of the disease. The pattern is clear. When governments want to conduct human experiments, they don't ask for volunteers. They take people who won't be missed. Every year, thousands of undocumented immigrants are detained by government agencies such as ICE in the United States. Most are sent back to their home countries, or so we are told, but what if some of them never actually arrive? Official deportation records have gaps. Reports have surfaced over the years of immigrants being processed, but their final destinations unaccounted for. Some detainees are recorded as having boarded flights, yet their families never hear from them again. If they simply disappeared, wouldn't someone have noticed? Wouldn't someone have spoken out? Not if they were sent somewhere no one can reach them. Think about it. Devon Island is remote, controlled by a government that works closely with NASA, and already equipped for long-term human survival tests. If you wanted to conduct off-the-books experiments, where would be better than a frozen, uninhabited wasteland where no one will look? This is the missing link. Devon Island isn't just a Mars simulation site, it's a secret human testing facility. The theory goes like this. Governments around the world are struggling with illegal immigration. Detaining and deporting thousands of people costs money, resources, and political capital. What if they found a different solution? Instead of deporting detainees, select individuals. Those without families, those deemed undesirable. are quietly rerouted to a classified NASA facility in the Arctic. Upon arrival, they are told they have been chosen to participate in a top-secret Mars colonization program. They are promised a new life, a chance to be pioneers of the future. But once there, they find themselves trapped, forced to live under extreme conditions, monitored 24/7, used for survival testing. Some are subjected to medical trials, studying the effects of isolation, low oxygen levels, and extreme cold on human physiology. Others are exposed to simulated Martian radiation or psychological experiments designed to break the human mind. And if they don't survive, no one asks questions, because as far as the system is concerned, they were already missing. Here's where things get even more disturbing. In 2020, NASA announced the Artemis program, a new mission to establish a permanent human presence on the Moon as a stepping stone to Mars. But many experts question how prepared we really are for such a mission. Is it possible that NASA already has a hidden colony of test subjects, unknowingly building the foundation for human settlement on Mars? Is Devon Island a training ground for a covert human relocation program? Are we already sending people off-world without their knowledge? And if they've been doing it this long, how many people have already been taken? Governments have a history of conducting secret human experiments. NASA has a presence on a remote Arctic island that is heavily restricted to the public. Thousands of undocumented immigrants disappear from the system every year with no trace of where they went. These are undeniable facts. The only question is how they connect. Could Devon Island be hiding a secret colony of human test subjects? Could NASA be using unwilling participants to prepare for Mars colonization? Could we be on the verge of discovering the most shocking human rights violation of the 21st century? You decide. Do your own research, look at the facts. The truth is out there. Subscribe for more investigations. Stay curious.